This is 5 things you need to do before you cuff that girl so you don't end up like Travis Hunter going out bad. And before y'all keep saying, oh, why you talking about Travis? Why you talking about that girl? You don't know her. We know enough. We know enough. We see what type of woman she is. And for these people that were like looking at the video of her crying, like, well, what are you crying for? When you get online, you sign up for hate. You sign up for the love. You know, if you want to leave a hate comment in the comment section, by all means do it. You know, I might talk some shit back to you. I just might if I'm feeling like that. But yeah, when you get online, this is what you sign up to. So this whole cyberbullying, that shit is dumb. That shit is dumb. But today we are talking about 5 things you must do before you cuff that woman. Y'all know the deal. It's Base CBO, aka Cole Brown Official. We start at number 5 and we go down to number 1. So number 5 is see if she can cook, man. Because a lot of these women, they'll say they can cook, but they can't. And I've seen this many times. All they say, oh, I can learn. I'm willing to learn. And it's like, can she be willing to learn? Absolutely. But 9 times out of 10, she's just talking. And I've experienced this many times when I was talking to a girl and she's like, oh, I want to get in the gym, or, oh, I want to learn how to cook. And 9 times out of 10, not really about it. They're just trying to get you invested into them. You know, so if she's saying, oh, I'm going to cook once I start becoming wifey, or once I'm your girlfriend, I'll start cooking more. It's like, don't fall for it, my boy. Don't fall for it. Now, if you don't really care about your girl cooking, you like to cook yourself, hey, do you, my boy. But I need a woman that knows how to cook, and that's been a priority of mine for a long time. So I don't go for that whole, oh, I know how to cook. No, let me see you cook. Let me taste your food. And for me, like, the food doesn't even have to be anything crazy, but you have to like to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to cook half the time and you cook half the time and we eat out. No, I want her to cook about 90% of the time. I'll go throw something on the grill every now and then. That's how I want to operate. Depending on what you want, you know, you might be looking for something else, but that's one thing that I look for when I'm talking to a woman. I make sure she can cook. I make sure she can cook me a meal before I just take her word for it, because every single woman swears she can cook. But 9 times out of 10, that's not the case in today's world. Next to number 4 is take a trip with her. And this is why I was really into the last girl I talked to, because she picked me up from the airport in Atlanta when I was coming back from Canada. And I had a really good time with her. Like, everything went smooth. And I went to Atlanta with 2 other girls, and the experience just wasn't all that. Now, one of the girls, she took me to a Falcons game. I talked about this a long time ago. And it went pretty good, but there was a couple red flags. You know, I was with other people. Like, she was with other people. She was in the military. And there was a conversation that was happening. And she was talking about this one guy. And she like, I don't see what the girls see in him and yada, yada, yada. Like, she was low-key talking bad about him. And then the girl, she was in the military. And the dude in the back seat with me, he was in the military. They looked at each other. No, I was in the front seat. So there was 2 of them in the back seat. And I kind of caught them looking at each other at the side of my eye. And I was just like, she used to mess with this dude. Like, it was obvious to me. Like, I can pick up on body language pretty well. But I don't know, after being around her friends, like, I could just tell what type of girl she was. Like, she was on go. And crazy thing is, like, 2-3 months after I stopped talking to her, some dude proposed to her. So I don't know if she was talking to this guy the whole time, or if this guy is just a super simp and he just ready to settle down hella quick. I don't know. I don't know what the case was, but I had a good time with her. It was cool, but it was just certain shit that was off. And she paid for my ticket, everything, which I really appreciated. But it's just like, when you go on a trip with somebody, you're going to notice a lot of things about that person, where if you're at home, you chilling, you're not getting out in the real world, you're not going to notice that stuff. So if you're really thinking about taking a girl serious, go on a little road trip, go out of town, be in a different environment with her. And the other girl I went to Atlanta with, I picked her up from the airport, and it was like so chaotic. Like, I don't know, I started getting stressed out just being around this girl. Like, that's not a girl you want to be around for the long term. When you just around her and you getting stressed, you know, it's like I was picking her up from the airport and she was taking forever to come out. You know, she said she ready, I'm waiting. And if you ever been to the Atlanta airport, they make sure the cars keep going. So I'm just driving in circles. Got up there, waited 5 minutes. Oh, you got to keep going, man. So I'm just driving in circles. She had me waiting for like 30 minutes, bro. I was really feeling like leaving her. But she's like, oh, I had to change out my uniform. And it's like, why did you say you was ready then? You know, say you ready when you ready. And then when she paid for the Airbnb too, which I did appreciate. But it's just like, everything was so chaotic. She had a hard time getting to the hotel. And it's like, why are you so unorganized? You know? Like, she was stressing me out because she was so stressed out. Like, you can tell a lot from being on a trip with a woman. Going on to point number 3, I kind of touched on this in the last one, is be around other people. See how she treats you in front of other people. Because a lot of times when it's just you and her, she'll act all invested into you. She'll be all about you. But then you go out with a group of friends with her, or you go out with her family or something like that. Now she acts completely different. Now you're not the priority. You want that woman that's prioritized you in any environment. If she's around her friends, you're still a priority. If she's in front of her family, you're still a priority. A lot of these girls, they'll start to switch up once they get around other people. Like, she acts completely different. I've seen this a couple times. When she's in front of you, she's all lovey-dovey, nice. She respects you. She treats you well. Then she gets in front of her family or she gets in front of her friends. Now she's a completely different person. And you also want to see how her friends are, because that will tell you a lot about her. Now, it's not always like if her friends like that, she's like that. But we all know birds of a feather flock together. So if her friend is like hella crazy, she might be a little crazy. If her friend is hella on go and you just know, then she probably that same way. So depending how her friends are, that would tell you a lot about her. Going on to a point number 2, I touched on this before too. And the last girl I was talking to, I asked her for money. You know, I think that's a very important thing. You can ask her for money or have her invest in something. Like, you know, this whole idea like, oh, the man should be paying for everything. Dog, we are living in 2024. You know, women are working just as many hours as us. So why am I going to be paying for everything? Make her contribute in some type of way. As long as she's paying for the tip, as long as she paying for a meal every now and then, or if she like coffee, she bringing you along for coffee dates and stuff, like, she should be paying for something. Don't just give her a completely free ride. I don't care how much money you make. You know, a lot of guys like, oh, I got it like that, so I'll go spend $500 on a date and I'll pay for everything and I'll pay for the hotel and I'll pay for this, I'll pay for gas. It's like, dude, even if you have the money to do that, you should not want to do that. She is working as well, so she should contribute. Because if you don't request anything or if you're not asking for anything, if you were down bad and you ask her for money and she can't give it to you, is that really the woman you want to be with? Because she letting you know if you fall on hard times, she's not going to be there to support you. You know? Because I really didn't have to ask this girl for money. Like, I could have found ways around it. I could have asked a friend. I could have took some money on my investment account. You know, I could have did different things, but I was just like, I'm going to just ask her, see how she reacts. And that would tell you a lot, man. That would tell you a lot. Because that will avoid the gold diggers. If you ask a gold digger for money, she going to call you broke. She going to stop talking to you. She going to be completely done with you. You know, and I told y'all a story about the girl I met on the cruise ship. A dude was living with her for a year. She was cooking, giving him money, doing everything. So when a woman's really down for you, she will invest in you. Believe it. She will invest in you and she will cook for you. She will take care of you when she really believes in you. And last but not least, number 1 is wait a bare minimum of 3 months. Now, I said before, like 5 to 6 months, you really want to wait before cuffing a chick. But the bare minimum is 3. Because these women can put on an act for 3 months, and I've done it before. I rushed into a relationship before, and shit went left. You know, she was putting on a whole act. I told y'all that story before. Like, girl came at me like, oh, you should train me in the gym, yada, yada, yada. We start working out together. I'm paying for her membership like a goofball. She stops going. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, what happened? I thought you wanted to get right. She's like, oh, I got you now. I don't need to work out anymore. And this is how they will move. And that's why I touched on the cooking one too. Like, a lot of women will say, oh, I'll cook for you. They'll tell you, I'll give you that wife treatment once you make me your wife, or I'll give you that girlfriend treatment once you make me your girlfriend. Nah, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. They try to get you to invest in them, and then they don't give you a return. You know, you got to see that return. You have to see some of the return before you invest everything into it. You know, so don't fall for it, man. Don't fall for it, because that's like the oldest trick in the book. They act like they're going to do this. They act like they're going to do that. And then they don't do it. You know, so don't fall for that whole, oh, once I'm your girlfriend, once I'm your wife. And no, man, no, because that's when she has control over you. When y'all get married, now she has more say so. Now you're not just going to divorce her because she doesn't want to cook once a week. You know, so a lot of times, dog, the more you invest, the less they're going to give you. You have to make her earn it. You have to make her earn it. And that's when she's going to respect you more, and she's not going to take you for granted. But when you just give that relationship away, it's not going to mean anything. It's not going to mean anything at all. And then on top of that, you have to make sure y'all align. You know, if you don't spend enough time, at least 3 months, really I'd say 5 months, you're not going to know who she really is, because a lot of people would hide who they truly are. You know, have those deep conversations. Find her deepest fantasies and things of that sort. find what she's done in the past, you know, do your 304 facts, you know, because this again, man, I messed with one girl and I found out she be eating the groceries, man. And after I found that out, like, I knew I couldn't mess with her anymore. But it's like, I should have found that out early on, you know? And that's why when you asking deep questions, finding out who she really is, you got to have a more chill, laid back, non-judgmental vibe to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you can knock them girls out the way quickly, because you don't want to get with a girl where y'all don't align. She might be a super freak. She wants to go eat your booty and all that stuff. And you're not with that stuff at all. I'm not with that stuff at all. So once you're trying to do that, and then I found out you did that in the past, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. I don't even want to kiss you no more. I don't want to see you anymore. But, you know, that's the type of stuff you have to find out early, man. And, you know, with all the corn out here, you know, a lot of these chicks do be on some super freaky stuff. You know, you need to do your 304 facts. You know, ask about that girl. Don't be afraid to ask about that girl. You know, if you got friends that know that girl, take some people's word for it. Now, some of these guys are going to lie and just hate and plot on you. But sometimes dudes will give you the insight on this chick, you know. You don't want that girl that's been with everybody. You don't want that girl that's been on go. You don't want that super freak that's trying to eat your booty cheeks. You don't want that. Now, some of y'all might want that, but if you want that, you probably, my channel probably not for you, my boy. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. That's the 5 things. So make sure she can cook if you're looking for a girl that can cook, because a lot of them will lie about it. Go take a trip on her. You're gonna learn a lot about her when you're out of your town. You know, when you're on that road for a long time, get into some deep conversations. Next 3, get out around other people, get around her friends, get around her family, see how she acts. Does she still prioritize you when it's not just you and her? Then number 2 is ask for money. You know, make sure she provides something to you. You know, don't just give her a free ride all the time. Because this whole provider thing, like, why are you providing everything? You know, you pretty much saying she's better than you. Now, she should provide stuff and you should provide stuff. Yeah, you might pay for most of the stuff. And if y'all hang out at the crib, she might cook most of the time. Yeah, now that's a equal exchange, you know, and it's not going to be perfect all the time, but you should be getting more value. Like, a lot of times we don't ask anything from these women. Oh, she's pretty, she gets a free ride. It has to stop being like that. And last but not least is wait a bare minimum of 3 months, and that's if everything's perfect. I really say 5 to 6 months before you really considering cuffing that girl. And see, it's kind of tough in today's world, because a lot of these guys, these simps, they'll cuff a girl after a couple of weeks. They might be talking to a girl for 1 month, maybe 2 months, and they're ready to settle down. They're ready to cuff her, really put a ring on it. Like I said, man, like, I talked to a girl, the girl that took me to Atlanta and paid for a Falcons game. I didn't talk to her for like a week after that. Then I hit her up trying to hang out, ran into her at the gym. And she was just like acting like she wasn't messing with me. 2 months later, guy proposed to her. She's married now. You know, so wait a couple months, man, because most of these chicks, they're not single for a long time, bro. They monkey branching to another guy. Most of these chicks cannot be single. So just be aware of that, man. You don't want to be cuffing a chick that was just with another guy a month ago. You know, that's really going out bad. But that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Let me know what I missed. If you have a couple things that you do before you considering cuffing a girl. And yeah, that's it. I'll catch y'all boys in the next one.